Hello, my friend. Before we begin, close your eyes for a breath. Let everything around you soften. The world will still turn without your effort. In this quiet, let's talk about something very rare. What happens when you no longer live from the small word pie? Have you ever noticed how almost every thought begins with I want, I fear, I think, I deserve? The whole world seems to orbit around this letter. You fight for it, defend it, polish it, but also suffer because of it. What if the very thing we protect most, the sense of me, is the root of our unrest? Pastor Guangqin once said, "When you stop standing on the side of lie, your practice is complete." It sounds simple, but it's the hardest step a human can take, because everything we call life seems to depend on that high. Yet the Diamond Sutra tells us there is no self, no being, no soul, no person. This isn't a denial of existence, it's a doorway to freedom. Let's explore together what it means to drop I without losing yourself, to live in the world with compassion but without self-centeredness. The prison of lie. Imagine waking up in a room with mirrors on every wall. Everywhere you look, you see yourself, you smile, you frown, you analyze the reflection. Soon you forget the world outside, you mistake the mirrors for reality. That's what it means to live inside high. Every time you think, they offended me, I'm not good enough, I'm better than others, you're polishing a mirror that reflects your own self-image. You can spend your entire life decorating that reflection, yet never touch the open sky outside. Pastor Guangqin once said to a disciple who complained about others, "When you remove the one who is offended, where can offense land?" The disciple was silent. That's the essence of the teaching. When there is no high, there is no wound. When there is no honor, there is no burden. The Diamond Sutra explains this through the idea of no self. The Buddha didn't mean we vanish into nothing. He meant the self is not fixed. It's a process, a flowing collection of thoughts, sensations, and memories, changes moment by moment. When you mistake that process for a solid entity, suffering begins. The birth of Haich in everyday life. From childhood, we are trained to say mine, my toy, my grade, my success. It gives us identity, but also fear of loss, failure, comparison. Society teaches self-assertion, but forgets self-understanding. Try to trace one day of your life and count how many times you use the word I need coffee, I'm late, I hate this traffic. Each time, notice the emotion attached. The moment you say hi, the world becomes divided, me and them, gain and loss, like and dislike. When Master Guangqin said, "Do not stand on the side of I," he wasn't telling you to erase personality, he was showing you a perspective shift from possession to participation. When you stop clinging to lie, you start seeing life as movement, not ownership. You don't lose individuality, you lose isolation. The moment the wall cracks. There's a story about Master Guangqin during his years in the mountains. Young monk came to him, complaining, "People keep hurting me, disrespecting me." The old master laughed. "You say they hurt you, show me this you. Where is it?" The monk pointed to his chest. Guangqin tapped it gently and said, "That's not you, that's flesh. Where is the one who is hurt?" The monk thought, but couldn't answer. Guangqin smiled. "When you find that high, come tell me. Until then, don't take it so seriously." That conversation sounds simple, but it strikes at the root of illusion. The moment you look for my, it disappears like smoke. You cannot locate it in the body or mind. It's an idea, the habit of thinking. When that habit pauses, even for a second, there's a peace. Try this now. Close your eyes and ask quietly, who am I? Don't answer from memory. Just watch what appears. Thoughts rise and fall. Motions move. But the watcher of all this, can you find it? You can't grasp it, yet it's undeniably present. That is awareness before I. Living without standing on high. So how does this look in real life? Let's take some examples. In conflict, when someone insults you, notice the heat rising. How dare they talk to me like that? Pause and ask, who is this me being attacked? Usually, it's pride, not essence. When you see that, the anger fades. You respond from understanding, not ego. In success, when praised, enjoy the appreciation, but don't build identity on it. Success is a moment, not a self. Say silently, conditions aligned, not I alone. Gratitude replaces arrogance. In failure, when you fail, don't collapse into I am worthless. Notice how the ego turns one event into an identity. Instead, say, this is an experience, not me. You learn, you adapt, you move. In relationships, when you love someone, see them not as mine, but as a fellow traveler. Love flows more freely when it's not tied to ownership. The less die in love, the purer it becomes. The mere practice. Master Guangqin often compared practice to polishing a mirror, but he warned, if you only polish the reflection of pie, it will never shine. The real polishing is removing the belief that the mirror and the reflection are two. You can try this exercise each morning. Look in the mirror and smile, but instead of thinking, that's me, think, that's today's form of the world. Notice the relief that comes from not clinging. You don't stop caring for yourself, you stop worshiping the image. When this becomes habit, judgment softens. You stop comparing, because comparison requires two fixed selves. Instead, you meet life moment by moment, new and fresh. The courage to let I go. Letting go of I feels scary because we mistake ego for identity. We fear that without it, we'll become empty, invisible, but the opposite happens. When I dissolves, life rushes in, the walls drop, and the universe breathes through you. You stop being a drop fighting the ocean. You become the ocean expressing as a drop. Master Guangqin once described enlightenment as the moment you forget to protect yourself, because what are we protecting? An image, story. When protection ceases, connection begins. The compassion beyond I. Without my, compassion blossoms naturally. As long as there's I and you, kindness is conditional. I help you. But when separation fades, helping others feels like helping your own body. When your left hand comforts your right hand, does it boast? No, it just acts. The Buddha said, great compassion rises when self and others are seen as one. Master Guangqin lived this truth during his old age. When asked why he continued teaching despite illness, he said, because the world is my body. How can the hand not lift when the foot is hurt? You can cultivate this same compassion by observing how everything interconnects. The food you eat comes from farmers, the air you breathe from forests, the warmth from the sun. You are not a separate tie, you are a node in a living web. Once you feel this, gratitude replaces entitlement. The modern ego. In our time, ego takes subtler forms. It hides in our opinions, identities, even spirituality. I'm right, I'm awakened, I'm humble. Each thought is ego in disguise. The trick is not to kill ego, task just ego attacking ego, but to see it as it rises. Next time you catch yourself wanting to be admired, noticed, or defended, smile inwardly. Say, The lie is talking again. Watch it like a playful child, not a villain. Awareness itself untangles the knot. Even spiritual pride is an obstacle. Some seekers cling to the idea I am beyond ego. But true humility is wordless. The moment you think I am humble, the lie has returned wearing a monk's robe. The freedom of no side. Master Guangqin's phrase, not standing on the side of I, also means not standing against I. You don't need to fight ego, you simply stop taking its side. Imagine two people arguing inside you, the ego saying, I must win, and awareness watching quietly. A wise one doesn't pick a side, it just sees both. That seeing itself ends the quarrel. Daily life. This looks like balance. You still use I to function. I need to work, I'm going home. But inside, you know it's a tool, not truth. You can play roles without being tracked by them. A river of practice. To practice is not to erase personality, it's to let personality flow like a river. River bends, widens, narrows, yet never stops being water. Your personality can express kindness, humor, strength, but when rooted in awareness, it doesn't harden into you mine. Try this metaphor. The ego is a wave claiming independence from the ocean. It says, I am special, I am separate. The moment it realizes it's water, fear ends. Doesn't vanish, it dances freely. Knowing it never leaves the sea. That realization is enlightenment, not an explosion, but a gentle sigh. I was never apart. How to practice in a busy world. Pause before reacting. When someone offends you, don't rush to defend. Feel the reaction rise, then breathe into it. Let awareness hold the emotion without narrative. Listen without position. In conversation, notice how you wait to speak, to prove something. Practice listening purely, without defending or comparing. Serve without credit. Do something kind without anyone knowing. The joy you feel afterward is the fragrance of selfless action. Meditate on interconnection. During meditation, visualize yourself dissolving into light that fills everything around you. The boundaries blur. This is not imaginations returning to truth. The soft strength of Master Guangqin. People who met him said he radiated calm so deep it felt like sitting near still water. Once, during a flood, villagers panicked as water rose. Guangqin simply smiled and said, if it comes, it comes. His peace calmed the crowd. Later, when the water receded, they asked how he stayed unafraid. He said, what is there to protect? If the body floats, it floats. If it sinks, it sinks. Awareness remains untouched. That wasn't fatalism, it was trust in reality. He lived beyond lie, and therefore beyond fear. You can cultivate the same fearlessness. Every time you feel anxiety, remember it's the ego fearing its end. Awareness has no fear because it has no boundary. You are that awareness. Living among people without I. When you no longer stand on the side of I, your relationships transform. You stop needing others to validate you. You can truly listen, love, and forgive. People feel safe around you because you're not unconsciously demanding anything. Imagine being with someone who doesn't compete, doesn't defend, doesn't boast. Their presence feels like open space. That's what you become when the I relaxes. You stop performing and start existing. Paradoxically, this selfless way of being makes you more authentic, because the true self, the one before I, is natural, spontaneous, compassionate. A world beyond duality. When there's no I, there's no other. When there's no mine, there's no theirs. Judgment softens into understanding. You see that everyone acts from their own causes, their own conditioning. You stop blaming and start comprehending. This doesn't mean moral indifference, it means seeing clearly. You still stop harm, but without hatred. You still praise goodness, but without pride. You act from harmony, not opposition. This is the essence of when practice reaches home. You no longer need to control appearances because you live from the center. Returning home. Master Guangqin said, when you stop standing on the side of I, you are home. What is this home? It's not a place, not a monastery, not heaven. It's the still point in the turning world, the awareness that doesn't move. Imagine a spinning wheel. The outer rim whirls fast, but the hub at the center is motionless. That hub is your true nature. The ego lives on the rim, dizzy with movement. When you rest in the hub, life keeps turning, but you are still. Home is not found, it's remembered. Modern parable. There was a young entrepreneur, restless and ambitious. He worked endlessly, saying, I want to make a difference. But deep inside, he was chasing recognition. One day, exhausted, he stumbled upon a quote from Master Guangqin, when you no longer stand on the side of I, you are already enough. That night, he sat quietly and asked himself, what if there's nothing to prove? Something in him softened. He still worked, but not from hunger, now from love. Years later, he told his students, when I stopped chasing success, I started succeeding without knowing it. This is the paradox. When you forget I, life begins to flow through you effortlessly. The silence beyond words. Even this teaching, even this reflection, must one day be let go. The Diamond Sutra ends by saying, even the Dharma must be abandoned, because if you cling to no I as an idea, it becomes another I. So, after all explanations, rest in silence. That silence is your teacher. Close your eyes for a moment now. Feel breath entering and leaving. Mo Pai breathes, it just happens. Mo Pai listens, it just hears. This is living without standing anywhere. This is the taste of freedom. The everyday miracle. When you live without standing on the side of I, ordinary things become miraculous. Cup of tea feels vast. Birds' song sounds eternal. Why? Because you're no longer measuring, comparing, wanting. The moment becomes complete in itself. That's the true home of practice, not escape from the world, but immersion in it without attachment. You become the sky in which clouds move but never stick. Closing reflection. Life will keep presenting challenges. The ego will keep whispering, what about me? When it does, smile gently and say, thank you for reminding me who I'm not. Then return to awareness, the space that needs no defense. As Master Guangqin taught, when the lie fades, the way appears. And when the way appears, every step, every breath, every act becomes peace itself. Thank you for watching this video. If this teaching helped you breathe a little easier, please like, subscribe, comment, and share it with someone who might need to remember that when you stop standing on the side of I, you finally stand on the side of truth.
Before you leave, here's something special. In Buddhism, we believe that every encounter carries a deeper meaning. Would you like to discover your true soul connection, the one written into your destiny? Take the Soulmate Test today and unveil the hidden truths of your journey. Click the link below and begin your path now.
http://soulmate. You wisdom more, come, white.